A compulsive gambler is given the superpower of luck, which he uses to solve crimes. A dead guy is brought back to life, younger and stronger, and solves crimes with his FBI son and AI sidekick. The devil solves crimes in LA with his female detective sidekick. Harry Houdini and Conan Arthur Doyle solve crimes with their female detective sidekick, the first one in London. Every single character in the Batman universe solves and or commits crimes, starting with James Gordon and his sidekick Harvey Bullock. Alright, so start off with going to do some reviews. Finally got around to watching Lupin the Third, which is really wonderful. It's got the full package of story and style and animation and just really well put together, and I love the designs. There was one called Lost Village Nanaki or Myoiga, which was very inventive. It played with your expectations of like what the twist would be, because it's very suspenseful, mysterious sort of deal. Yeah, it was very good with playing with what you thought was going to happen. The first episode was a real standout of the season. First episode took place entirely on a bus, introducing the way too many characters and singing a song, which I loved it. It was great. It was the best episode of anything in the season. There was a Yowamushi Pedal movie. It didn't have Mito Suji, so 0-10. I watched Kabaneri, Train, Titans, Zombie Dead, which was okay, I guess. Definitely not as enjoyable as what it wanted to be, Attack on Titan. Mainly because, there's no flying around, there's no Spider-Manning. Also because, despite it hitting pretty much every subject Attack on Titan used to make their world alive and its plot intense, not just monsters to fight, but also politics and main character being stuck in between two worlds and all of that stuff. Kabaneri somehow always manages to mispace the plot so that all those same things happen in Attack on Titan, but without the high stakes, high emotion that makes Attack on Titan intense. So both series main character, they hate the monsters because it killed their family, and in their quest for strength to beat the monsters, they end up magically becoming half monster. But in Attack on Titan, that unfolds in such a way so that you can first become emotionally attached to the character and be stunned by the plot points as they come. But with Kabaneri, it all packs it into the first couple episodes before you give a shit. And maybe that would be okay in the long run if it was all really densely packed like that, but it isn't. There's just a long string of episodes on a train. It's basically just the train works, the train doesn't work. Monsters are attacking, train, monsters, train, monster trains. They didn't have a monster train. They should have had a monster train in the series. That would have helped. And then all the world building politics stuff like Attack on Titan, but less interesting because none of the characters that are involved in that get any sort of build up. They just appear and start doing things. It tried. Joker Game, which is totally my sort of thing. It's historical, it's got spies, but it was only it went for an anthology style of multiple standalone stories from different characters. And on paper, that sounds very, clever, but in practice, the best thing about spies and history is how one thing relates to the next thing, which causes the next thing, and so on, which you don't get here in any sort of substantial way, just little bites of stories. It would have been better if all of these standalone stories were only pretending to be standalone and we're actually seeding a greater plot for the second half of the series. There were some hints at maybe this being a thing, but it never panned out. So I'm not going to say Joker Game is bad, but it was disappointingly mediocre. There was Tonkatsu DJ, which is a short series with crappy drawings and crappy design, crappy animation, and somehow even crappy music despite it being about DJs. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. There's just an earnest, lighthearted spirit to this series that makes it a lot of fun to watch. Another short series is Luluko, which has polished drawings, cool design, a mix of great animation and cheap animation, but always interesting animation, and really nice music. And it irritated the shit out of me. I couldn't stand it. The whole thing is Trigger is so far up their own ass with the series. Whereas like Tonkatsu DJ's plot was basically nothing. It was just, interesting but inconsequential. Luluko is an incredibly dense epic universe set piece made to support an epically nothing plot, leading to an extreme intensity of boringness. It's really intensely boring, and they're constantly nudging and winking at you, which is infuriating. Hey, remember we made Kill la Kill? You liked that. Hey, remember we made Little Witch Academy? You liked that. Hey, remember how you never got around to watching Inferno Cop? Here he is. Hey, remember we made that one short you liked? We're gonna reuse that entire short, scene for fucking scene, in another short. The entire series is just Trigger circle jerking onto Luluko over the handful of things they've made over the past 3 years. The things that people actually watched. Speaking of things that Trigger aren't going to be circle jerking onto Luluko in the future, Kisniver existed. Yeah, so that's all I've got to say about the previous season. Let's get into these synopsises. Alright, we got 91 Days by Studio Shuka, which is an original. The classic mafia drama takes place during the Prohibition era in the lawless district. The law has no power, the mafia rule the streets, and the illegally made liquor flows freely. At one time, Avilio lived in this district, but after a mafia dispute ended in the murder of his family, he went into hiding. Later, Avilio receives a letter from a mysterious person that ignites his passion for revenge and leads him to return to Lawless. There, he infiltrates the Venetti family and gets close to Nero. I've not had good experiences with anime trying to do mafia stories, so I'm not expecting much, but I'll give it a try. A Manchu! By J.C. Staff. It's a manga adaptation. Hikari Kohinata is a cheerful 15-year-old girl who lives near the ocean. She spends much of her time diving as a result. On her first day of high school, she meets a teacher who also likes scuba diving. There's also a 16-year-old classmate, Futaba, who gets dragged along in Hikari's maelstrom as soon as they meet at school. I dubbed this series Underwater Waifus! Good, laser swords. Ange Vierge by Silverlink. The trading card game follows what happens when Pyro portals suddenly open, fusing 3 different worlds together as a result. Various mysterious Exceed powers are awakened in teenage girls. An academy for these so-called progress girls is built on the isolated Seiren Island in the Pacific. I guess there's no kids left in Japan. These selling shit shows used to be aimed at kids, and they would have a mixed gender cast so that all the kids had someone to identify with. But now that there's no children to sell to, it's just an all waifu cast for the adult men who are still willing to waste money on a trading card game. B Project, Kodo. Hold on. B Project, Kodo, Anus, Ambitious. By A1 Pictures. The anime's story follows Tsubaki, a new hire in the A&R department of the major recording company Gondola Music. Tsubaki is immediately assigned to oversee the idol unit B Project, which is made up of 3 idol groups, Kidakor, Thrive, and Moo-nz. This is Tsubaki's first job, and she gets involved in various incidents and accidents as she deals with the group of young men who each have their own differing personalities. There's no good idol shows. I don't know what the deal is with idols. They're all bad shows, and they're not. Even that show that was where the idols were the statues, even that wasn't any fun. It's a boring show. Battery by Zero G. It's a novel adaptation. Takumi Harada is a young man who moves to a mountain town in Okayama Prefecture during the spring break before he enters middle school due to his father's job transfer. Takumi is a pitcher, and after he moves, he loses faith in his own talent when suddenly his classmate Ko Nagakura appears in front of him. Ko has a strong desire to form a battery with Takumi. So I've been excited for this one for a while. It's possibly a bit too drama, slice of lifey for my taste. So if it's just them being emotional and talking about their past while they play catch, I won't be that hyped by the end of it, but I hope it's good. Berserk 2016 by Milipensis. It's a manga adaptation. Spurred by the flame raging in his heart, the black swordsman Guts continues his seemingly endless quest for revenge. Standing in his path are heinous outlaws, delusional evil spirits, and a devout child of God. Even as it chips away at his life, Guts continues to fight his enemies who wield repulsive and inhumane power. With nary but his body and sword, his strength as a human, what lies at the end of his travels? The answer is shrouded in the night. Strain your eyes and stare into the dark. I don't know, what is this, an Asian sequel? It looks ugly as balls, and sounds boring as dicks. Days by Mappa. It's a manga adaptation. Two boys who were never meant to meet. Kushi Tsukamoto, who has no special skills but secretly hides a passionate heart, and Jin Kazama, an isolated soccer genius. On a stormy night, the two meet, and that meeting creates a whirlwind in the world of high school soccer. I mean, this is what the summer season of anime is for. It's for sports anime. And I expect this one to be full of hot-blooded, edge-of-your-seat, intense action with strategically, psychologically dense competition and lots of pretending to be injured. Cheer Boys by Brainspace. It's a novel adaptation. Story revolves around members of a cheerleading squad at a men's university. I mean, this is what the summer season of anime is for. It's for sports anime. And I expect this one to be full of hot-blooded, edge-of-your-seat, intense action with strategically, psychologically dense competition and lots of pom-poms. First Love Monster by Studio Dean. It's a manga adaptation. When 15-year-old Kaho Nikaido leaves her sheltered home to start life anew in a Tokyo high school dormitory, the last thing she expects is to nearly get hit by a truck. Saved in the nick of time by a handsome stranger, Kaho falls head over heels for him and, after finally tracking him down, boldly confesses her feelings. Turns out Kaho's mystery savior, Kanade, is the son of Kaho's new landlord. The handsome object of Kaho's affection agrees to go out with her, but her newfound bliss is short-lived when it turns out that her new boyfriend is a 5th grader. That feel when you're excited for your date, but your boyfriend takes you to the playground to play pirates. That feel when you want to make out, but your boyfriend just wants to organize his binder of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That feel when your boyfriend dumps you for your homeroom teacher. Relife by TMS Entertainment. It's a manga adaptation. The story follows Kaizaki Arata, a 27-year-old jobless man who fails at every job interview he's ever had after quitting his last company. His life changes after he met Yoke Ryu of the Relife Research Institute, who offered him a drug that can change his appearance to a 17-year-old and to become a subject in an experiment for 1 year. Thus, he begins his life as a high school student once more. And the girl he ends up dating turns out to be a 5th grader. That feel when you're excited for your date, but the cafe your girlfriend takes you to has nothing in the teacups. That feel when you want to make out, but your girlfriend just wants to read historical accounts of the life of Pablo Escobar. That feel when your girlfriend dumps you because you're completely mistaken on what 5th grade girls are into and your jokes are super dumb. Honda-kun by Diomedia. It's manga adaptation. 6 years prior to the events of Barakamon. Barakamon? What was Barakamon? Barakamon. I loved Barakamon. Detailing the life of Seishu Honda is a high school student, and a very interesting life it is. In Honda-kun, Seishu Honda is admired by his peers as a calligraphy genius and given the utmost respect. But Honda-kun himself is under the mistaken impression that the deference and attention he receives from the other students is actually bullying. Honda just wants to live a quiet life, but hilarity ensues as one character after another challenges his position at the school as the school idol and somehow comes away as a fan, all while Honda is horrified and clueless. So they took what was a fairly boring milquetoast main character from Barakamon and gave him a prequel. Sounds awful. Hybrid X Heart, Magia's Academy Ataraxia by Production IMS. It's a light novel adaptation. Hida Kazuna possesses the Heart Hybrid Gear ability, but is not strong enough to make him particularly important. His older sister calls him to transfer to a strategic defense school where many of the students, many of which are large-breasted girls, I like to add that I didn't say that out of my own volition, as an off-the-cuff joke commentary about the poster or anything. This is just the thing that I'm reading in the synopsis. Use their HHG abilities to fight invaders from another world while wearing extremely skimpy pilot outfits. I once again did not add this. I'm just reading the thing. Kazuna's fighting ability doesn't measure up, but his sister has another plan, getting the girls to have erotic experiences with Kazuna. That makes sense. So that it will allow them to replenish their energy or power up. It looks like his new school life is going to be full of embarrassment. I like how it's the typical light novel adaptation, but then they just went and made it lewder than normal because I suppose they ran out of the adolescent boy market and now they're reaching for the adolescent man market. Kono Bijutsu-bu ni wa Mondai ga Aru. By Feel, it's a manga adaptation. Focuses on an art club in a certain middle school and its members, Subaru Uchimaki, who is a genius at drawing faces but only wants to draw the perfect 2D waifu, Colette, a rich troublemaker who never stops making mischief, and the club president who sleeps through sessions and collects sleeping aids. Mizuki Usami is the only person in the club who wants to do art club-like activities and constantly struggles to do so. Now for me to walk straight into the obvious trap again, where I hope the show is actually going to be about the core concept it says it's about and take an interest in it, but instead it's just going to be a gag comedy slice of life where none of the comedy has anything to do with the actual concept of doing art. New game! By Doga Kobo. It's a manga adaptation. Meet Aoba Suzukaze, a fresh high school graduate easily mistaken for a middle school student who joins the game company that produced her favorite game as a 3D artist, and her cute antics as she gets her way through work and deals with her rather wacky coworkers. Now for me to walk straight into the obvious trap again, where I hope the show is actually going to be about the core concept it says it's about and take an interest in it, but instead it's just going to be a gag comedy slice of life where none of the comedy has anything to do with the actual concept of game development. Time Travel Girl by WAO World. It's an original. Mari Hayase is on a mission to go back in time and meet 8 of the most prominent scientists and inventors in history. With the help of her 2 friends, Waka Mizuki and Jun Mizuki, she'll find herself up close and personal with famous figures like Benjamin Franklin, Alexander Graham Bell, Thomas Edison, and so many more. What's her purpose and mission? Hopefully not getting stuck in the past. Yeah, wow, that sounds really neat. I can't wait to... Hold on a second. Fuck! I walked straight into another obvious trap where the show isn't actually going to be about the core concept that it says it's about. It's just a slice of life gag comedy where none of it has anything to do with the actual concept. Maybe, I don't know. We'll find out. Could be good. Maho Shoujo Naria Star Girls by Bouncy. It's an original. We got Yura, Hanabi, and Inaho are 3 girls who aim to become nationally renowned characters by creating animation of themselves. They chose the magical girl theme to catch the attention of everyone from children to adults. Can they safely become popular characters in a one-core magical girl anime? That's meta as fuck. Given this is being made by a small studio, I don't remember them ever making anything. I'm guessing the characters represent them, and they think this is a cute and clever way to lampshade their desperation of trying to have a show take off. I might watch it just to see what an anime studio's death looks like as it happens. Mob Psycho 100 by Bones. It's a manga adaptation. The story revolves around Mob, a boy who will explode if his emotional capacity reaches 100%. This boy with psychic powers earned his nickname Mob because he does not stand out among other people. He keeps his psychic powers bottled up so he can live normally, but if his emotional level reaches 100, something will overwhelm his entire body. That's interesting. Maybe. I can't tell if it means he'll literally explode or not. I mean, if it's like the bus from Speed, I'm on board. Momokuri by Satelight. It's a manga adaptation. Yuki Kurihara has finally been granted her wish of dating her crush Shinya Momosuke, also known as Momo. At first glance, she just looks like a normal but very cute girl. However, she is in fact a maniac over Momo, taking notes on his activities and never missing the chance to see him in a cute moment. Momo, on the other hand, is inexperienced in love and just wants to make Yuki happy. Aww. Aww. Huh? Oh. Nejimaki Seirei Senki, Alduraman on the Sky by Madhouse. It's a light novel adaptation. The Katvarna Empire is at war with the neighboring Republic of Kyoka. In the Katvarna Empire, the lazy, woman-admiring Ikuda hates war, but due to certain circumstances, he grudgingly takes the high-grade military office exam. No one would have expected that this 17-year-old young man would eventually become a soldier, called a great commander by others. Ikuda survives this world engulfed in war with his superior intellect. So it's about a guy who starts out as a lazy neat, and then he's gonna become a great commander, all through his superior intellect. That sounds possibly pretty good, maybe? I hoped to believe that Madhouse still picks good things to adapt. Orange by TMS Entertainment. It's a manga adaptation. Everyone has regrets in life, so who wouldn't take the chance to change the past if given the opportunity? When 16-year-old Takamiya Naho receives a mysterious letter claiming to be from her 20-year-old self, her life is suddenly thrown into flux. The letter tells her that a new transfer student by the name of Naruse Kakeru will be joining her class and to keep her eye on him. But why? Naho must decide what to make of the letter and its cryptic warning, and what it means not only for her future, but for Kakeru's as well. I think this story idea would have been better if instead of a letter, it was a phone call, and instead of her older self, it was an alternate reality version of her love interest, and it had a punny title about phones and being in love. I mean, like, what the fuck is orange even supposed to mean? Get your shit together, anime. Puzzles Ampersand Dragons X by Studio Pierrot. Anime adaptation of the Nintendo 3DS game Puzzles Ampersand Dragons X. See, this is what I was talking about before. A mixture of character types to identify with so kids can relate to the concepts of puzzles and X and dragons, and then go out and buy puzzles and X Dragons, X Puzzles Ampersand 3DS, X Puzzle Dragon. Qualidia Code by A1 Pictures. It's an original. In a world where humans are continuing to fight a war against an enemy called Unknown. Unknown invaded several decades ago, and children entered a cold sleep to escape the invasion. When the children awoke, they found themselves with supernatural powers. The children set up a defense in cities in Tokyo, Kanagawa, and Chiba in order to protect the country from the unknown who appear through the Tokyo Bay Gate. And they all just stood on train tracks and got hit by Regalia, the Three Sacred Stars by Infinite. It's an original. 12 years ago in the country of Rimgard, a big incident left an unsolved mystery that has begun to fade from people's memories. Time passes and sisters Yui and Rena are living peacefully in the Inastria Empire. However, one day a large mecha attacks Inastria. This day marks the turning point when the two girls get caught in the vortex of fate. Quickly, we need to close the fate vortex before all of our fates are entwined into a big messy fate ball. Scared Rider Zex's by Satelight. It's a video game adaptation. That order, is it for love or for death. A world of godless people was being menaced by Nightfly O'Note, a mysterious alien invader from a crimson world via the Crimson Barrier Scared. To counter the Nightfly O'Note's threat, the humans established the Lag Defense Agency at the Ryukyu Islands. The anti-Nightfly O'Note fighting unit, Scared Rider, valiantly stood against the threat, but was completely wiped out 5 times. What a loser. And so the 6th and latest unit, Scared Rider Zex, was assembled from 5 young men. However, at nearly the same time that SRX was formed, the Nightfly O'Note invasion stopped suddenly. Without the enemy they were supposed to fight, the SRX members spend their restless days dealing with ordinary life. The SRX members established the musical band Odd Eyes to deal with their low spirits and restlessness. Meanwhile, a young woman is assigned to Lag as their instructor and commander. A new life begins for the young woman and the SRX. That visual novel adaptation, is it for organic composting or for trash? Sweetness and Lightning by TMS Entertainment is manga adaptation. Having lost his wife, math teacher Kohei Inuzuka is doing his best to raise his young daughter Sumugi as a single father. He's pretty bad at cooking and doesn't have a huge appetite to begin with, but chance brings his little family and one of his students, Kodori Lita, together for homemade adventures. With those 3 cooks in the kitchen, it's no wonder this dinner table drama is so delicious. That's cute, I guess, until he ends up marrying the student. Tales of Zestria by JC Staff, UFO Table, a video game adaptation. Nicknamed Seiji, is a human youth who grew up among good at martial arts. Spiritual beings not visible to humans. On the street story believes in the folktale that says long ago every human was able to see the seraphim and dreams of unraveling the however, it's not an ordinary to world, a place where people and seraphim live together in peace. One day, story visits the human capital for the very first time. He becomes embroiled in an incident during which he pulls out a holy sword embedded in a rock and ends up becoming a shepherd, one who casts away calamity from the world. From California. He begins to realize the gravity of his mission, and his dream of coexistence between mankind and the seraphim begins wrapped up in cross-national. The shepherd embarks on a journey with his companions. It's a good thing we have multiple Light Palm shows this season, because Light Palms. Tsukiyuta the Animation by Studio Pierrot, 6 Gravity and Procolarum are 2 rival male idol groups who happen to live in the same dorm. 6 Gravity is made up of young men who represent the months of December to May, while Procolarum's members represent June to November. What? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Alright. Following the daily lives of these 12 young men as they deal with the stress of idolhood, school, and living together. With music by famous Vocaloid producers. Wow. I'm not gonna watch that. Alright, and now we have shorts. Fudanshi Koko Seikatsu by EMT Squared. It's a manga adaptation. The comedy depicts the daily life of Sakaguchi, a high school boy who is also a Fudanshi who loves boy love stories. Fudanshi is a wordplay on Fujoshi, the slang for women who love boys love / yaoi stories. / So, yeah, I am lefty, liberal, progressive enough to try this. And I'm not going to say anything dumb like no homo, because I watch everything asexually in the first place. So, you know, if you watch anime for sexual gratification, you are a hentai and a baka. Baka. And finally, we got Onura Guru by ILCA. It's an original. Onura Guru follows the everyday life of Guru, the most admirable of farts, as he solves problems in ways that only a fart can. I am so fucking excited for this. Like, holy shit, because this art style is unmistakably this indie animator that I have loved for years and years and years. He made a ton of cool, hilarious, cheap animations that look like this. They always have these human face characters with the dramatic shading. And I looked up his name. He's Takashi Taniguchi. And I'll link to his video, Mr. Ando in the Woods, with subtitles down in the boxy books. You'll watch it and you'll get 100% why I'm excited for this series.
Come on.
I will be so pissed off if this is like so many of his online animations where I can't actually watch it and get what's happening because there is no subtitles and it's very It's very talky. All of his things are very talky. There better be subtitles for this fucking series, or I swear to God, I'm cutting someone. I'm cutting someone like the cheese.